Good morning.
Good morning.
We may wait 4 minutes or 5 minutes in order that everyone can connect.
Hola, buenos días.
Hola, buenos días.
Buenos días, Pilar.
Estamos esperando unos minutillos a ver si se conecta todo el mundo.
Sí, sin ningún problema.
Gracias, Pilar. Buenos días, Manuel, que no te había saludado en general.
Buenos días a todos. Sí, aquí estamos ya conectados. Gracias por la invitación.
Gracias. Muchas gracias.
Buenos días.
Buenos días, Lola. Bueno, yo no sé si...
Buenos días a todos desde Fundación Santa María la Real.
Hola, buenos días. Un placer.
Días.
Igualmente.
Luis, cuando me digas empezamos, yo creo.
Yo creo que cuando quieras, José Miguel, sí, puedes empezar ya.
Vale. Well, we are going to start with the opening of the launch event of Usual for Excellence. Good morning and welcome to the launching session of the University Salamanca program to foster research excellence, Usual for Excellence, a project granted by the European Commission in the frame of Excellent Science Maria Sklodowska Curie Co-Fund Actions. and supported also by Castilla y León region government. My name is José Miguel Mateos Rocco. I am Vice Chancellor of Research and Knowledge Transfer of the University of Salamanca, and for me it's a pleasure to open this event. Let me now present all the participants in this event, in this launching event. From the Castilla y León region government, Dr. Pilar Garcés García, Vice Chancellor of Education and University. Thank you, Pilar, for your support and for being here today in this event. I wish also thank Blanca Ares González, General Director of University of Castilla y León, that has apologized for her absence in the event. From the European Commission, I wish to thank Dr. Manuel Gómez Herrero, Policy Officer of the European Commission, Director General for Education, Jobs, Sport and Culture Unit. Thank you for your support also and for being here today in this event. And also, I wish also thank the presence of some researchers of the University of Salamanca. Their presence is fundamental in this opening session because for the University of Salamanca, we expect that USAL for Excellence program will have a great impact in the research and transfer knowledge activities. And in order to spread this important is very significant the presence of the well-recognized researchers of different groups of the University of Salamanca. In this end, I wish to thank the presence and participation to Dr. Carlos Arcila Calderón, Associate Professor of the Observatory for Audiovisual Contents of the University of Salamanca, and also Professors Francisco Javier Sierro Sánchez and José Abel Flores Villarejo of the Oceanic Geoscience Research Group of the University of Salamanca. USAL for Excellence program comes with the partnership of many organizations and companies, and I wish also to thank also their participation in this event. I wish to thank their presence to Maria Sola Gil, Corporate Director of Neurofix, and also to Paula Conte García, Head of Project Management Office, Fundación Santa María La Real de Patrimonio Histórico. Thanks to all. Now, in order to continue with the development of this session, I give the floor to Luis San Andreu, Project Manager of USAL for Excellence, who is going to conduct this event. Thank you. The microphone, Luis.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to introduce now to Pilar Garcés García. She is Counselor of the Education Universities at the Regional Government of Castilla y León. Junta de Castilla y León, from the beginning, has been a really strong, was a very strong support to our project, and so now we are really delighted with the participation of the Councillor. Pilar, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me to this important event in which we are going to make visible what the University of Salamanca has achieved. So first of all, I would like to congratulate the University of Salamanca, because we know that this call is very competitive, and it's very difficult to achieve the goals that the university had established at the very beginning, but it has been a very successful call for you, and because it was for you as well, we're going to share your success, if you allow me. Now, our support for this co-fund program is very important, because we really need to invest in whatever is going to be good for the community. Also, apart from being a Deputy Minister for Universal Research in the regional government of Castilla y León, I'm also the Commissioner for Science and Technology, which means that my team has been designing the strategy, smart specialization strategy for Castilla y León. And that is very important, because I'm going to link the importance of this design of the strategy with what USAL for Excellence can do in this co-fund program. Now, the strategy is approached from a twofold perspective. On the one hand, to meet international demands that can benefit from the application of science, technology, and innovation. And in this sense, of course, this USAL for Excellence is really important. It's a core aspect, because, of course, we have to apply science, technology, and innovation in this transition that Castilla y León wants to make for this period of 2021-2027, which is the period of the smart specialization strategy, and of course the period of all the funding from the framework of the European investment funds. Now, on the other hand, we have to maintain the international vision that takes an advantages of the capacities of our community to generate competitive and comparative advantages abroad. This is also going to be very much linked with this program of USAL for Excellence, because, of course, we are going to try and attract people from international fields, international areas, and this is going to help also the increase of competitiveness and success in Castilla y León in the process of this design of this strategy. Now, for this new period, 21-27, all European regions, of course, we have to transform or try to transform our regions, and the challenges we meet are basically the digital transition and the ecological transition, and also to make all our regions, in this case Castilla y León, competitive, sustainable, and resilient. And that is something that this program is also going to support in a very important way, because we are going to try and see in which way Castilla y León can compete and can also contribute to make Europe a much more competitive, sustainable, and resilient continent. At the same time, as the main novelty of this smart specialization strategy is because we initiate something that has been called the discovery of business opportunities, this entrepreneurial discovery process. In this entrepreneurial discovery process, it's very important the participation of what we have called the quadruple helix, which is the participation of business companies, the participation of the administration, the participation of universities and research centers, that's very important, and the participation of society. With those four stakeholders, what we have to try is to discover which real projects can develop, right, this entrepreneurial process, and we can develop something better for Castilla. Now, I'm going to give you some data so that we can actually see where we are right now in the research and development. The data on research and development in Castilla and León, the expenditure we have as a percentage of the GDP, places Castilla and León above the average of Spain as a whole, standing with a 1.35% in 2019. That's all the data we've got. We don't have the data for 2020 because of several reasons, including, of course, the pandemics. And compared to the 1.25% nationally. So we are 10 points, not points, but 10% more of the percentage of Spain. It's true that we are a little bit far away from the percent that we have to achieve in Europe, but still is something that we have to continue working as one of our important targets. Now, this data, of course, places Castilla and León at the top of Spanish regions. So we are in the 5th position of expenditure in research and development after the Basque Country, Madrid, Navarre, and Catalonia. So it's really important for our researchers, the one who really wanted to choose Salamanca to come and invest here and research here, is that we are the fifth region in Castilla and León investing in research and development. Also, in terms of human resources in research and development, also there has been an increase in the personnel of research since 2014. The percentage of women also has been increasing, representing 42.6% of the personnel and 43.5% of research personnel in 2019. In both cases, this is above the national average in Spain, where women represent 40.6% of the total researchers, while in Castilla and León is also a bit higher. So we have very good data, we have very good numbers in the investment of human resources and of expenditure regarding GDP. Also, in terms of scientific activity, we have to conclude that the number of publications indexed in Scopus decreased a little bit in 2019. That is the last year we have available data, because, as we said, we don't have the data of 2020. But however, the indicators referring the publication in high impact journals, Q1, in international collaboration were improved. But one of the objectives we really have in our smart specialization strategy is to improve, to increase the number of impact journals. And in this case, of course, we need the help of all these researchers that will apply here to Salamanca in order to make this grow in the sense that we really wanted it to grow. Now, this development, of course, is seen as very positive, and it implies an increase in quality of our publications. But we have to increase also the joint publication with international public and private institutions. And that is something important in the idea of USL for excellence that can help also in these objectives that we have targeted in the strategy. Now, it is true that, for example, one of the bottlenecks that we've got is the low innovation performance. Although progress has been made since 2011, but the investment in this innovation performance is a little bit lower than what we really wanted. So that is something else that we have to improve, and we expect to improve it with all those researchers applying for the USL for excellence. Now, it is true that this low proportion of researchers employed by education and companies is a little bit of a mismatch between the tertiary education and the market needs. We also need to make this happen, to match what the company and the business are now demanding and asking, and what we as researchers can do in our research centers and our universities. We have to actually improve the number and implement different strategies, one of them being USL for excellence, obviously, in order to have all these different researchers working with us. Because one of the positive aspects of this program of CoFund, which is something that the Europe has done in a very positive way, is that our researchers have to work for a certain amount of time in different companies, businesses, or institutions, public and private, which means that they can be the perfect link to see how the demands of the future of the companies can be met can be met, sorry, by the researchers, and the researcher is coming from our universities. Now, of course, another bottleneck that we've got is the shortage of ICT specialists, which interferes with the challenge of digitalization of small and medium companies that we've got here in Castilla y León. We need also to implement that. So that is going to be some of the objectives that we are going to have for this strategy. In order for researchers to come, I would tell them that Castilla y León, as we have seen in the video, is a very rich region in nature resources, but also is a region that has got quality of life. This is one of the priorities that we really want to develop in this strategy, smart specialization strategy for Castilla y León. And quality of life means loads of things. Quality of life means that we have medium-sized towns and cities, as Salamanca is, which are quite safe. Also, it's very important that it's very easy to travel from one province to another. So we also have all this support of the different provinces and the different universities that are in Castilla y León. So Salamanca is one of them, but we also have Valladolid, we've got Burgos, and we've got León. And you can profit as well because there are lots of programs, research programs that are being undertaken by the 4 universities together. So that is another advantage for you researchers who would like to apply to come to Salamanca. So we have a lot of natural resources. I mean, nature here is absolutely fantastic. It's a way not only for research, but also to enjoy. If you come with your family, be sure that our standard of schools is absolutely fantastic. We have very good results in the PISA assessment programs, international programs, because we are very serious. We take education very seriously. We have a very good percentage of tertiary of the population that have got tertiary studies, which is something as an exception in Europe and in Spain and in Europe. We've got loads of our population being interested in education. So apart from that, of course, we've got a rich heritage, historical heritage, that also is very important, not only also for research, but also as well for being able to enjoy it. We've got ICT, so these infrastructures that have got the technology and the scientific advantage that is being supported by the Ministry of Science and also by the regional government. And be sure that, of course, our priority is to make the people that come here with us have a very good standard of living. We've got a very good health system, and we want to improve it as well with all the people that come here, and we are very, very happy to welcome you. Now, one of our objectives as well regarding research is that we have to normalize the impact of the scientific production. And that is something that all of you we can do together. The objective for the Scopus percentage is that in 2019, the impact was 1.18%, but we have as objective to gain 1.22% in 2024 and 1.25% in 2027. Also, the percentage of researchers working in the private sector, and that's very important because for all of you to come here, you have an opportunity to stay, is that while the objective in 2019 was 32%, in 2024 it's going to be 35%, and in 2027 we will have an objective of 38% of percentage of researchers working in the private sector. So I think with all these challenges, we have to overcome the bottleneck that we need more internationalization, not only because we need more people coming from the international fields, but also because we need, as we said before, to increase competitiveness in the international arena. And that is something that we really have to do. So the support of the regional government is going to be here always. And I know that the University of Salamanca has made a great effort in order to be able to achieve or to be successful in this goal. And we really are here to support every initiative in this sense. So thank you very much to all the people out here from the different businesses, companies, from the European field. And I would just to congratulate once more University of Salamanca for having achieved this call. And here we are as a regional government to support all these initiatives, because what is good for you is going to be good for the region or for the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Pilar. Thanks for your participation and also for your support during all the preparation of the proposal. And it's been great for us. So yeah, to have your support to continue with it. So now I'm really delighted to present our next speaker, who is Manuel Gómez Acero. He is policy officer at the European Commission, and he is involved in this specific call, the COFAN actions. So, Manuel, thanks for participating in this event.
Thank you very much, Luis. Good morning, everybody. I will start sharing my screen because my plan was to show you a few slides. I hope now you can hear me well and you can see the slides. So again, yeah, thank you very much to the University of Salamanca for this kind invitation to participate in this important event of the project, the COFAN project, USAL for Excellence. During the next few minutes, I will try to summarize the main elements of the Marie Skłodowska-Curie Actions co-fund, both under the previous Research and Innovation Framework Program of the European Union, Horizon 2020, and the current program, Horizon Europe. As you can see in this slide, the Marie Skłodowska-Curie Actions, and now I already introduced a first disclaimer, I will be using usually the acronym, the MSCA, as we call them usually. So this is, let's say, a particular moment of this presentation for the MSCA, because USAL for Excellence has been one of the projects in the portfolio of projects selected in the last year, year 2020 of Horizon 2020 MSCA. So then USAL for Excellence will have to comply with the provisions, with the regulations and the mandatory points of the work program of the Horizon 2020 program. Then it's good in this presentation to remind the main elements of COFAN under Horizon 2020. But of course, it's also very interesting, I hope, for the audience today to know a few more details about how the MSCA will look like in under Horizon Europe, which is this current program which will last from 2021 to 2027. Let me also take the opportunity to remind you that now this year, and particularly these days, we are, let's say, celebrating the 25th anniversary of the MSCA, because this very important program since 1996 has supported nearly 140,000 researchers, talented researchers, in some cases also coming from abroad, from other parts to Europe to carry out their research, and sometimes to carry out their career. So in this slide, you see the main features of the MSCA that were valid in Horizon 2020 and remain valid under Horizon Europe. Let's start, let's say, highlighting that the MSCA, the Marie Skłodowska-Curie Actions, are the most important European program for the mobility, the training, and the career development of researchers. Those researchers can come from all over the world. And then the MSCA do so by excellence doctorates, postdoctoral fellowships, and also collaborative projects. Another important element of the MSCA is what we call the 3 I's, the promotion of the international, intersectoral, and interdisciplinary cooperation and mobility. These 3 elements are very important for the career development of researchers, because this is one of the main elements of the MSCA. These researchers who, as I said, can come from all over the world, and they can be at every stage of the career. It's not that all actions are valid for all stages, but a researcher, no matter his or her stage in the career, can find an action, an MSCA action that is valid for him or for her. Another important ingredient of the MSCA is the promotion of attractive working conditions, and also a very transparent, open, and merit-based recruitment procedure, both based on, let's say, the guiding. Important also to remind that MSCA is one of the bottom-up programs of the European Union. So we don't fix the subjects for the research. It's you, the applicants, participants, who decide where are the topics to be the focus of the research. all organizations are welcome, and we particularly encourage the participation of the non-academic sector. And then, of course, we need to highlight the companies and particularly the SMEs, because the SMEs are usually the most important providers for jobs and growth in Europe. And finally, and this is probably a message I will repeat several times in my presentation, this has an impact on researchers, so in the individuals, the organizations, and in the systems and in the entire European research area. In this slide, I summarize, as I said, I start speaking about Horizon 2020 very quickly, very quick visit. The main expected impact that you can find in the work program of Horizon 2020 is the spread of the good practices of the MSCA that I just shown in the previous slide. This has a positive impact and an empowerment at individual level, organizational level, and at system level. And also a very important concept, we are in a co-fund action, so of course the synergies concept is also very important, starting of course with the funding synergies. We heard in the previous presentation from Mrs. Garces, the support to research and innovation, smart specialization strategies. So we encourage the synergies, the funding synergies also with the cohesion policy funds. But synergies go beyond that. It's also to harmonize, to combat fragmentation in evaluation measures, objectives, and so on. And finally, having this positive impact in the entire European research area and the contribution, even from a bottom-up program, to competitiveness, to growth, and to jobs in Europe. In these 3 slides, again, is just the extract of the work program, the expected impact from the work program. I will be quite brief. We start with empowerment, with the positive impact of a co-fund project as usual for excellence will have in the fellows who will join, hopefully in the next few months or years, couple of years. They will, thanks to co-fund projects such as usual for excellence, will augment and diversify their skills. This is good for their employability, for their career prospects. This also helps to forge new mindsets thanks to the exposure to other disciplines, to other sectors. And finally, researchers are expected to improve, to enhance their networking and communication capacities, the impact of their research. Second point, very important, for example, for the case of University of Salamanca, as the beneficiary, let's say the coordinator, the beneficiary of this project, institutions such as the University of Salamanca will see, hopefully, and this is the expected impact for organizations, an increase in the quality of training, an increase and an improvement in the capacity of research and the quality of the output of research, and a strengthening of your collaborative networks and your partnership with international actors, and also University of Salamanca, and why not also you partners who are accompanying you in this journey, becoming key actors and partners, and let's say improving their role and the visibility and reputation. And finally, also another thing that we like to see in all co-fund projects is the feedback of all these results from research from the fellows that you are going to recruit in the next few years, closing the loop and introducing these research results into the teaching and education. And finally, at system level, here we are speaking of the concept of the, let's say, the positive impact in the entire ecosystem, the entire European research area, how these good practices of the recruitment and working conditions of the researchers and the high quality training, not only on researchers' skills, also in transferable skills, has an impact on the regions, for example, of Castilla y León in this case, or on the member states, in the entire, both academic and non-academic partners that are accompanying you, and also concepts such as open science that are more and more important for the European Commission, that open science goes beyond open access to publications, it's also open access to data, it's also citizen engagement, communication, and so on and so forth. And finally, what is the point, as I mentioned before, to see how programs like this one have a contribution to Europe competitiveness and growth, thanks to these talented researchers who will be joining in the next few years your project, USAL for Excellence. And now let me spend the last 2 minutes of the presentation in what MSCA looks like under Horizon Europe. So my main message and first message is a message of continuity, of continuation. MSCA continues having the same actions that you can see at the bottom side of the slide. So action focus on the doctoral programs, on postdoctoral fellowships, on collaborative research through staff exchanges, co-fund, which is the main, let's say, point today in this presentation, and also MSCA and Citizens, which contains this very visible and very well-known event for communication of science and research, the European Night of Researchers. And then in terms of the guiding principles, the main objectives is more or less what I already mentioned, is the promotion of knowledge and skills, training, career development of researchers, and a high quality working conditions and recruitment, and laying the foundations for excellent research in Europe. Final slides, let's say in terms of content, what will be MSCA co-fund, or what is already MSCA co-fund under Horizon Europe. This keeps being a mono-beneficiary action, one single beneficiary, of course, accompanied usually by associated partners or implementing partners, depending on the case. Devoted to co-fund new or existing regional, institutional, national schemes for both doctoral or postdoctoral programs, with the focus that I already mentioned for previous framework program, Horizon 2020, to spread the good practices of the MSCA, high standards for the training, the quality, high quality also working conditions, a sustainable impact in the institutions. Hopefully this positive impact on the institutions should remain beyond the duration of the projects. And also, of course, we keep encouraging the synergies with cohesion policy funds and also with the new mechanism from the European Commission, the Recovery and Resilience Facility for the post-COVID area. With this, I am close to end my presentation. Here you have a collection of useful links for those in the audience who are listening to us today or watching us today. In the first link, you can watch the presentation of the Info Day we celebrated back in July. I mean, all the colleagues in my unit gave presentations of the different actions. And maybe also it's good to remind you that EURACCESS is the one-stop shop for all the potential fellows for this USAL for Excellence project or other co-fund projects, or even other doctoral networks projects, for example, is where you can find all the vacancies announced on top of other probably institutional websites where you can also find the vacancies. With this, I conclude my presentation. Thanks for your attention. And again, thanks for this invitation to USAL for Excellence, and good luck with your project. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Manuel. So now I think it's time to present a few details about our project, about USAL for Excellence. But before starting, please let me introduce myself. I am Luis Sant. I'm working in the management team of this project, jointly with Maria José Gil, Susana Verde, and Mercedes Garcia. So I will share my screen just to summarize a few details about our project. And sorry. Yeah. So before starting, I would like to let you know that we have available a chat through Zoom application, and I encourage you to write your questions there, because at the end of the session, we will have a specific period dedicated to answer those questions. So, as it was mentioned before, USAL for Excellence is an initiative of the University of Salamanca, which is funded under MCA co-fund actions and co-funded by the Junta de Castilla y León. The main aim of this project is to recruit 40 experienced researchers at our institution at the University of Salamanca. As you can see in this slide, the incorporation of these 40 experienced researchers will involve two different calls, which is written here, first call and second call. And this call will be slightly overlapping. So a very important thing about these two calls is to highlight the most important dates about them. So related to the first call, that it will involve the recruitment of the first 20 experienced researchers. So this call will be opened next Monday. That's 15 November of this year. And the call will be opened for 3 months till 15 February of next year. So afterwards, there will be an evaluation period also for 3 months from February 2022 till June 2022. So we expect to publish the final results with the selected candidates around June of next year. So that means that the starts of the fellowships could be around July of next year. So that's for the first call. For the second call, that it will also involve the recruitment of 20 experienced researchers, we expect to open that call on October next year. And these are approximately the dates we expect for each phase. So, as was mentioned before, the host institution is our university, the University of Salamanca. And just to provide a few figures about our university, I would like to highlight that the University of Salamanca employs around 2,300 researchers, which are distributed in 57 university departments, 26 faculties and university schools, 13 research institutes, and 11 research centers. In addition, our university also offers studies to 26,000 pregraduate students per year, plus 2,500 postgraduate students per year. So regarding the project, we would like to highlight that the duration of these fellowships will be for 30 months, because we consider that this time ensures proper project implementation. It's also important to indicate that we are considering a bottom-up approach, so we are not restricting to any research field. So applicants who are interested in applying to this project can choose to research freely. So between all the between all the research fields that are considered in this call, which are these 8 research fields: chemistry, social science and humanity, economic science, information science and engineering, environmental and geoscience, life science, and mathematics. And finally, physics, sorry. So, we also want to highlight that the applicants during the implementation of the projects will be able to implement 2 different secondments. The first secondment, which is called secondment 1, is a voluntary secondment. And in this secondment, the fellows will be able to spend till 6 months in a partner organization. These voluntary secondments should be scheduled between the first 20 months of the research period, and the institution will be freely selected by the candidate. In our project, we also consider another type of secondment, which is called secondment 2, and this is a mandatory secondment. In this secondment, the fellows will have to spend till 6 months in a non-academic institution, and this secondment has to be scheduled in the last 6 months of the contract. It's important to say that this secondment has to be implemented in a non-academic institution, and it could be a company, a cultural institution, a museum, a hospital, and again, the fellows are free to choose the entity they consider better for their projects. These are some examples of companies we have supported, which we have shown their support to our project, and they will participate in this project as partner organization. Regarding supervisors and mentors, it's important to say that the applicants will have 2 different supervisors during their projects. The first one will be a supervisor from the host institution, from the University of Salamanca, and the other one will be a supervisor from the host institution, sorry, from the partner organization. That's the partner organization where the fellow will have to implement the mandatory secondment. So I repeat again, 2 different supervisors, one from the university and another one from the partner organization. In addition to these 2 supervisors, there will be a mentor. Together, supervisors and mentors will guide the fellow to create a career development plan in order to meet the professional career of the fellow. So these are some figures indicating the number of supervisors which are available at the university for the different research fields. Regarding the training, the project will offer tailored support to all experienced researchers in order to facilitate the work in their projects. It's important that this course for the training of the fellows will be implemented in the university or related organizations. So as part of the seminars that they are implemented in the department, faculties, or institutes. We would like to highlight that University of Salamanca was awarded in July 2019, so 2 years ago, with the Human Researchers Excellent in Research Award. This logo reflects the compromise of our institution with the human research strategies for researchers. Regarding the salary of these fellowships, each fellowship includes funds for a very competitive salary and also for reasonable research expenses. So the total cost of a fellowship is around 4,855 euros per month. That's the total cost of the fellowships. And that means that the fellows will have approximately a net salary of around 3,500 euros per month. So who can apply to this call? So there are only a few requirements, and these requirements are listed in this slide. So the applicants must be experienced researchers. That means that the applicants may hold a doctoral degree, or alternatively they have to prove 4 years full-time research experience by the time of the call deadline. That for the first call is 15 February of next year. The second requirement is comply with the mobility rule. That means that the applicants might not have resided in Spain for more than 1 year in the last 3 years before call deadlines. Again, that's 15 February of next year. And the third requirement is to certify English proficiency level. And to that end, the applicants can apply with the documentation a diploma certificate certifying a minimum C1 level of English, or alternatively, they will have to pass an exam, an online exam run by the University Language Service to certify this proficiency level. Regarding the application process, we would like to highlight that the process will be completely electronic, so no paper will be needed. And there will be a link available from next Monday, 15 November 2001. And so through this web link, you will have to complete your application. The applicants will have to complete their applications. In these applications basically consist of an online application form where applicants will have to detail some personal data, and also a summary of the research proposal which is proposed in this project, and also those ethical aspects related to the project which is intended to realize. So in addition to this application form, the applicants will have to upload different documents to support the application. And these documents will include scientific proposals where the CV, the CV of the applicant, the scientific proposal, and also a more detailed consideration of the ethical aspects will be included. In this supporting document section, they will also have to demonstrate that the applicants comply with those job requirements I previously mentioned it. And here they will also have to include the letter of commitments of the USAL supervisor and also for the partner organization. At the end of the application, they will have to show their agreement with a few declarations. So that's basically a summary of the main features of our projects. I would like to show you that all the detailed information about this project is included in this web page that is already available, and where you can find the details of each step of the project and also of the application process. So now it's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, who is Carlos Arcila. Carlos Arcila is an associate professor at this university, and is one of these potential supervisors that will support the application of candidates. Carlos Arcila is working in a research group, in the research group of Observatory for Audiovisual Contents. Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you, Luis. Please, first of all, can you allow me to be a host in order to show my presentation in Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's done it.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so hello everyone, and thank you for attending this meeting, and thank you, Luis, for the invitation. As Luis mentioned, I am going to give you an overview of one of the groups in which any of the potential participants of this program can join or can ask for a supervisor. This group is called Observatory of the Audiovisual Contents. And I will tell you about the research topics that we manage, the techniques, the methods, and also the projects in which we are involved. So first of all, I'm an associate professor in the Department of Sociology and Communication, a member of this observatory. We have a big team of researchers. The head of the team is Dr. Juan Jose Gartua, who is a full professor in media psychology, but we have many other researchers working in different fields since it's been 15 years, and now we have the recognition of the Junta de Castilla y León as a consolidated unit of research. So this is an important recognition, which means that we have a lot of potential in terms of projects and also in terms of papers and different publications. So many of the members some of the members have different backgrounds. The main background in our group is communication and media studies, but also we have psychology, economy, computer science, and data science, among other disciplines in which we work trying to understand different aspects of media and communication. So these are like the main research topics that we work with. The first is media processes and effects. So we are very interested in how media affect the behavior of people. Also, we are interested in the relationship between communication and education, how you can use education as an input in the communication processes. And in addition, we have a lot of experiences in analyzing media messages, which means that we try to see how media, for example, covers different topics. Among these topics, for example, we have worked a lot in migration, looking at how migration is being covered by media, newspapers, radio, TV, social media, etc. And finally, we have consumption and use of media. We are interested in how young people, especially, adopt and also use different kind of media. And for all these research topics, we apply different techniques, which means that we work just from qualitative to quantitative analysis, from experimental to non-experimental studies. So we cover all of the techniques that are normally related to humanities and social sciences. And also, let's say that we have like traditional experiments, surveys, content analysis, different kinds of qualitative research, which means interviews, focus groups, etc. In addition to that, we also have a competence in computational methods. We are applying also computational methods for analyzing big data cases in different areas of communication. So these approaches, qualitative, quantitative, computational, are managed by different members of our team. So we have in our group, and I hope some of you would like to join us or ask to be one of us to be a supervisor. We have different ongoing projects, and of course, a list of projects that have already finished. But I would like to mention that the projects that you're seeing on the right side, on the left side of the slide, are the projects that are right now being developed, and all these projects have found or have funding from different entities. We have funding from the European Union. We also have funding for national entities and also for regional entities. So just to mention a couple of them, I would like to mention the European ones, because probably if any of you are interested in joining or applying for the program by joining our group, probably these projects will shed light of which topics do we have in our research practice every day. So one of them is called FARM, which is Preventing Hate Against Refugees and Migrants. This project is a project in which we monitor hate speech in Southern Europe, Italy, Greece, and Spain, and we try to develop techniques to counter hate speech, to counter the effects of hate speech on people. In addition, we try to relate hate speech with hate crime. The other project is called Hummingbird, which stands for Enhanced Migration Measures from a Multidimensional Perspective. This is a very, very big project. It was funded with 3 million euros, and we still have 2 years of work with this project. We are a partner in this project. And in this project, we are working in different dimensions of migration, which means that we are also monitoring social media, traditional media, and we are working on sociological and communicational aspects of migration. So as you can see here, one of our interests is migration in general, and we try to focus on different social issues to make our research more interesting for society. So as these projects normally give us the opportunity to have publications. So here you can see the relevant results, not only in papers, which is the traditional way to show our research in high impact journals, but also books or software patents that we have developed. But we have a lot of master and PhD students who are developing their careers with our projects, and of course research visits and agreements with companies. In that, I would like to mention our agreement with Radio Televisión Española, which is the state-owned TV and radio company in Spain, which is something that some agreement that we developed recently. And in that case, we have some contact to develop part of the visit to a company that you have to do if you come to this program. So finally, if you finally decide to apply for this program and come to our group as a postdoc researcher, just to mention that we have a lot of disciplines around our topics, but when we decide which disciplines you can apply for, we have in the first place communication, which is our main line, but also sociology, social anthropology, or also computer science and informatics. So if you are in any of these fields and want to develop any research, for example, related to Hummingbird, which is a project in which we are going to work for 2 years more for developing different aspects of migrations, you are very welcome to join us. And it will just to summarize, I think our group, as well as other groups in the institution, are very motivating spaces for conducting research, and also a very nice space to come to develop your research. So thank you very much. This is my email and also my Twitter account. If you want to contact me for any doubt, just feel free to do it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carlos. for this motivating presentation. So now we would like to introduce Francisco Javier Sierro and Josabel Flores. They are full professors at this university, and they are also very good examples of good research groups working here at the university. They are included in the research group of Oceanic Geoscience. Francisco Javier, Josabel, thank you very much.
Thank you for the invitation to participate in this launching meeting. I will introduce you the group of Ocean Geoscience. We are a small group in the Department of Geology at the University of Salamanca. Our group is formed by 3 senior scientists and 4 young scientists. We normally supervise between 4 and 5 PhD students every year, depending on the year. Part of these PhD students have been funded by the Marie Curie Actions. Well, the main goal of the group is to understand and to investigate past changes in its climate, and especially its impact on the marine environments and the phytoplankton and microplankton that was living in the oceans during the last 1,000 years or millions of years. To carry this research, we normally use oceanographic expeditions. We normally participate in oceanographic expeditions in the Atlantic, the Mediterranean, Pacific, South Ocean, depending on the project. During these expeditions, we take deep sea sediments and we bring them back to the laboratory here in Salamanca to investigate, to analyze the physical properties of these sediments, the micropaleontological content, etc., to investigate past changes in climate. Concerning the co-fund program, we are, of course, very interested in this program because of it gives us the opportunity to attract new talented young scientists that can be interested in some of our fields of research here in Salamanca. We have experience on these Marie Curie actions, Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions, both at pre-doctoral level and postdoctoral level. At pre-doctoral level, we participated in 2 ITNs in the past. The ITNs, Innovative Training Networks, are part of a European initiative to put different universities or scientific institutions together to cooperate on the training of young scientists, normally to do the PhDs in different universities. Our one now is the new call, I think, is Doctoral Networks. And we participated in one call maybe 8 years ago. It was a program to investigate the evolution of the mountains surrounding the Gibraltar Arc, and especially the interaction between the formation of these mountains in South Spain and northern Morocco, on the interaction between the Atlantic and the Mediterranean. In this proposal, there were 4 universities participating in this program at the University of Bristol, Glasgow, Utrecht, and Salamanca. There was funding for 9 PhD students and 1 postdoc. 3 of these PhD students were located here in Salamanca. We recruited 3 students from the Netherlands and from Colombia, 1 from Colombia. They all finished the PhDs like 3 years ago. But these initiatives are very important, especially because we not only know our PhD students, but we also know the other students from the other universities, because there are many training events organized within these actions. And then it gives you the opportunity to know these young scientists that can be also potential candidates in these Marie programs at postdoctoral level. And now we are also participating in other ITN. Is the focus of this, or the main goal of this ITN, is the study of a huge layer of salt that was deposited 5 million years ago in the deep parts of the Mediterranean, when the Mediterranean became isolated from the Atlantic. This new ITN, we got one PhD position. She's finishing next year, probably. And the idea of this project is was the cooperation on the study of this salt giant in the Mediterranean. There are like 15 institutions working on this proposal, trying to train these young scientists. And concerning the postdoctoral level, we also have some experience. We got one postdoc fellowship, Marie Curie fellowship, maybe 3-4 years ago. It was Andres Igual. He's now getting a permanent position at the University of Salamanca. He was a former PhD here in Salamanca a long time ago, and then he moved to Australia and other postdoc contracts in other countries. And now he has the opportunity with this Marie Curie fellowship, postdoctoral fellowship, to come to Salamanca and continue his career here at the university, and now is getting a permanent position in a few weeks as contratado doctor. The other experience we have is another postdoctoral fellowship granted to David Dominguez. He was also Spanish. He was working at the University of Complutense in Madrid. He moved and he has been working several years in different foreign institutions in the UK, in Croatia, and now also he applied to this postdoctoral fellowship, Marie Curie fellowship, and got funded. He's starting a project now in Salamanca, and probably he's going to have the opportunity to get a permanent position here because he's accredited or habilitated for professor titular. Then these Marie Curie actions are important, especially because some of these experienced researchers can get an opportunity to continue here, not only for these 30 months that are funded by the European Union, but also maybe later if they can get a permanent position here at the university. And well, I think this is more or less what I wanted to say in relation to our experience in this kind of European programs. And I think Jose Abel first want to add something else to show maybe some other projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Paco, and thank you to the organizers of this meeting for providing the opportunity to explain. Well, Professor Sierra showed more or less some of the main lines of our research, but only add some information of another programs, sometimes related with the European system, sometimes with another institutions. Now our group is also linked to live programs, so we extend not only the fossil or the past information, but we also work in present day systems in the ocean. He mentioned some of the projects of Marie Curie and linked to acidification and other important environmental questions. But also we are involved now in one live program here with local institutions, no? And this is a potential extension of our research, combining our experience with particularly in the knowledge of climatic series with other experts. And also I think it is important to mention our relationship with another companies. We are now in still with a project with the ANH, is the Organization for Hydrocarbons in Colombia, the Agency National of Hydrocarbons. And at this time, we have 3 PhD subsidized with money from Colombia, but the main budget is here in the University of Salamanca. This is a good experience in terms of extend the information of geological topics. But just to finish and to show you the 2 main umbrellas concerning the PAC information and the topics of our groups. It's normally our group is working under the umbrella of two big institutions, of two big systems of programs. One is the IODP, International Ocean Discovery Program, is the biggest net for ocean research in the world. And I think our group take advantage for years, and most of our research is focusing on that. No, this provide very good potential students or people, researchers that to take advantage of this program. And the other umbrella is SCAR, is the Scientific Committee on Antarctic Research. Our group is also working for years in Antarctica, both in the study of sediment, but also in the study of the present day organisms. Now, these two umbrellas are a very good source of potential research, and that have excellent connections with international programs and very relevant institution in the world, no, in the academic world, and particularly both programs are taking advantage of the information provided by Pilar Garcés. These 2 programs probably in health sciences are the biggest producers of publications in our system. No, and nothing else. Thanks again, and you're here.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Francisco Javier. Thanks, José Abel. So now it's time to move to the partner organizations, which are very important players in this project. So now we will have the presentations of 2 different companies. The first one is Neurofix, that is a young biotechnology company which is installed here at the University of Salamanca Scientific Park, and this scientific park hosts around 55-60 companies. Neurofix is an example of a young company which is working with neurological disorders. So from the beginning, this company were really enthusiastic to join in this project. So it's my pleasure to introduce you Maria Sola Gila from Neurofix. She is a corporate director of the company. Maria?
Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Luis, for the introduction, and thank you for the invite. I'm coming here on behalf of Neurofix. Sorry, I must apologize in advance since I'm on the street, and probably you hear some background noise. So in case it's very disturbing, just let me know, and I look for a different place. Okay. So yes, as Luis was mentioning, Neurofix is part of this program. Neurofix is a company based in Salamanca. It was founded in 2015, and we also have offices here in Madrid, where I am currently. The aim of the company is research and develop products in regard to the pain, so neuropathic pain in this case. The product has been licensed out from a company called Laminar Pharma, which is in Mallorca. So let's say that the R&D has not been done in-house, but we are responsible of bringing this product successfully to the market. This doesn't mean that Neurofix will not have his or its own R&D, and this is one of our objectives, one of our expectations, to create an R&D department very soon in order to identify new products in the pipeline. So just to give you a little bit of background and highlights on what is needed to develop a pharmaceutical product from its R&D, from the moment it's discovered until it's marketed. I will just share some points. So my role is as corporate strategy director is to help the team to establish all the strategies that are required to develop and launch one product like this one, meaning that we need to establish, to design and also to execute, first of all, in vitro and in vivo studies in animal models, what we call the preclinical phase. This preclinical phase is usually done at laboratories or at CROs, so contract research organizations that follow GLPs, good laboratory practices. These standards are required by the regulatory agencies such as EMA or FDA. EMA stands for the European Regulatory Medicines Agency here in Europe, and the FDA is the homologous in North America, the Food and Drug Administration. So just to link how the product is developed, our product is called NFX-88 and follows European standards. So it will finally marketed in Europe, which is something linked to what Pilar Garcés mentioned at the beginning. One of the aims of Neurofix is bridging the R&D with the market. So we do not want only to invest time in researching and investigating, which is very good, brings a lot of value, we know this, but we also would like to reach all this value from the R&D with the market, with patient needs, in order to improve their quality of life. So retaking the points I was mentioning before, after the preclinical stage, that is usually done in laboratories, public institutions, or CROs, private institutions, we need to continue with the clinical phase, meaning that patients, so humans, need to test the safety of the product, first of all. So we need to check that the product is not harmful for anyone. And second, and in this stage way approach, we need to test the efficacy of the product. So in this case, as we are claiming that NFX-88 is a product that could be efficacious against neuropathic pain in spinal cord injury, we need to test the product in patients suffering from this pathology. So currently, Neurofix has finished the phase 1 trials, meaning that we already tested that the product has a very good safety profile. And second, we are already in the phase 2A trial. So we just finished the recruitment of all the patients in the phase 2A trial, meaning that in a few months' time, around 3 months, we will be able to open the unblinding, the blinding, sorry, and get the results, the first results of efficacy of the drug. So in 3-4 months' time, we will be able to confirm efficacy. In parallel, well, just related to the previous studies, preclinical, these clinical studies are also done at CROs, clinical research organizations that coordinate different hospitals, not only nationally, but usually sometimes even internationally. Yes, and also following GCPs, good clinical practices as required by the regulatory agencies. In parallel, together with the preclinical and clinical studies, Neurofix also needs to define and execute the regulatory strategy, meaning that we need to know whether the market target is national or is European or is North American through the FDA, or whoever the market we would like to target. In our case, is the European one, meaning that we need to regularly establish interactions with the EMA in order to get validation of our development program, and also in order to make sure that we follow their standards. Otherwise, we will not be able to get the authorization for commercialization at the end of the way. In parallel, together with the clinical studies, regulatory strategy, we also need to create for Neurofix, or establish for Neurofix their quality or our quality systems in order to be compliant with the rules that I was mentioning before. So good manufacturing practices, good clinical practices, good laboratory practices, good distribution practices. So all these, we know we work in a very regulated sector, the biotech pharma one. And if we don't comply with these rules, at the end of the day, all the money invested, all the resources, the human resources invested will not make any deal. And all these together, all these technical concepts, for sure need to be aligned with the market, as I was mentioning before. So Neurofix really chose this indication just because, well, mainly because it has no treatment available. So there are other drugs, other products that are being used for pain, for neuropathic pain, but they are not targeting this indication really. So they have high adverse events and they are not efficient. So the aim of Neurofix, the main goal, the main market goal, or the main business goal, has been to target the neuropathic pain, spinal cord injury. So we really make a difference in the improvement of the quality of life of these patients. And to finish with this brief overview and aiming to target all these with the regional objectives that Pilar Garcés mentioned at the beginning in the welcoming session. We also, Neurofix also needs private or is growing thanks to private and public investment with the support of Junta de Castilla y León, with the support with CDTI, ENISA, and more than 200 private investors. So, well, I would like to thank you, all of you, on behalf of Neurofix, and thank you very much for the opportunity of being here.
Thank you, Maria. So now it's it's time to present our next speaker, that's also representative of another partner organization. In this case, it's Fundación Santa María La Real del Patrimonio Histórico, that I think they already collaborated with our institution a few times. So Paula Conte Garcia, who is he's the head of the project management office of this foundation, will explain you very briefly some details about some of the projects they are implementing in the foundation, which are basically based on people, heritage, and landscape. Paula, thank you very much for attending the meeting.
Thank you. Thank you. I congratulate you for achieving this project in the university. And it's a pleasure for me to return to University of Salamanca. So thank you so much for the invitation. Can I share my screen? I don't know if I have all access to permissions to, okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Well, I try to explain briefly the foundation. It's not an easy task as we manage a lot of different work and sectors. Okay, but the foundation responds to a bottom-up associative movement created in order to restore a collapsed monastery. By this reason, our name is Santa María la Real, as the monastery that is located in the north of region of Castilla y León. And we take the motto of Miguel de Unamuno, the writer and philosopher that says when he visited the monastery that even a ring can be a hope. So we try to see opportunities instead of problems. As Luis said, our main three pillars in the foundation is work for people, for heritage, and for landscape. We have national scope. We are a non-profit organization, and we have 5 main offices, as in Madrid, Valladolid, León, Santiago. And we have created more than 3,000 jobs since our origins. And right now, more or less, we are 2,040 people. We have more than 60 national and international awards, and we organize a lot of cultural activities, training workshops, and so on. And we are also have published a lot of books, and this is the main figures. Our philosophy is based in one reason, that is that we work for generate territorial development. So we want to create social impact, we want to provide new solutions and to activate the territories to taking the advantage of the endogenous resources of the territory. So we implement projects about cultural, natural, and social heritage, and work with all type of stakeholders, as universities, like as in this case. The first projects that, as the main milestones, was the creation of the workshop school, because it was invented in this entity, and with participation also in Spain and also in all the world, with more than 700,000 participants. So this workshop schools models was then implemented by public entities, by the regional, national authorities. We had a lot of agreements with national institutes and banks in order to carry out the Encyclopedia of Romanesque of Spain. And we developed territorial plans, master plans for the restoration, rehabilitation of different buildings and churches. And also we carry out today we are also carrying this project, the Launching Pads for Employment, in order to help people to find a job and to promote the skills, particularly the soft skills and the digital skills for employment. Our main working areas are heritage, tourism and culture, employment, entrepreneurship, and social care. But thanks to our history, and we have created some business units. For example, the most interesting, I think, for this this project can be a company based on ICTs for heritage, that is monitoring heritage system. We also have craft company that is heritage modeling. We have created also a specialized agency in cultural tourism, and we are also participating in Horizon 2020, for example, with this company, or we manage an exhibition center based on Romanesque architecture. So, well, I'm the leader of the project management office that was created some years ago, and that provide these resources for adapt the research, development, and innovation in Fundación Santa María la Real. We have a multidisciplinary and heterogeneous team. We search for partners, alliance, specific training, and so on. So we participate right now in different European projects, like the following. This is a brief summary or maps where you can see that we participate in Horizon 2020, in COSME program, in different Interrex projects for the cooperation at different levels, and that we work for artifacts, also for buildings, especially churches or buildings with strong values at cultural level, for cities, like smart cities, territories, especially some rural territories with a strong natural or cultural value, and also for people. Regarding the potential research fields that can be interested for the researchers, I select these three main areas: information science and engineer, life science, and social science and humanities. That we have received some researches through internship programs with cultural institutions or with universities, and this is the main three areas where may you have identified. In the first, the computer science and informatics, I think monitoring heritage system, the company was developed specialized for managed cultural buildings or cultural property. So we try to develop the company on preventive conservation management, the most relevant parameters related to preventive conservation, capacity and flow. That is very interesting, especially during COVID situation. And so we are right now developing some projects in order to develop more the facilities of this system. We also working with energy efficiency and with security. Regarding the social care area, the nursing homes, we manage 2 nursing homes and 1 daycare center. We also offer home service, and we are trying to develop some projects related to aging places, so in order to promote public health, especially for elder people. So we provide different integrated service aimed to improving the quality of life of people who require the gerontological care. And the third line, sorry for the visualization, is our main pillar, the heritage and culture. So we manage a Rome exhibition center that is located in our headquarters in the monastery. And we offer the visitors a new way to approach heritage. It's an experience oriented towards a sensory enjoyment in which visitors, with the help of historians, can discover the birth roots for a living museum. And this is very interesting because it's like a museum lab where we try to develop new product and service in order to improve the experience of all visitors using the ICT tools, basically. And also we are a publishing house with more than 350 books and publications. And especially important is that we are finishing the Encyclopedia of Romanesque in Portugal, as we had finished the Encyclopedia of Spain, where participated more than 2,000 historians and experts. So it is one of our main reference in this area. Anyway, I'm available for provide more information, but anyway, we are interested in participate and to host new researches as we are working for attracting international talent in your region, or to establish new collaboration, share knowledge or lessons learned, or to apply new technologies, and anyway, in promote the mutual understanding and to face new challenges that we are facing now. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for the invitation, and I feel I'm here to provide more clarifications. Thank you.
Thanks, Paula. So, and thanks to all the speakers who have participated in this event. I'm sure that with their contributions, applicants will have a nice overall view of the project. So I think we are still on time to answer your questions. So I'm gonna check the chat, and there is one question. Good day, I'm evaluating proposals for the MCA 2021 PF. At this moment, I think there will be an overlapping with USAL for Excellence on the resolution stage. Is there any conflict of interest? For example, if I am contacted by any of the MCA applicants interested in USAL for Excellence, or if any of these applicants are selected for this program, for the USAL program. So that's a very specific question about the possible conflict of interest. So I think that since you will not be evaluator of this program, or this USAL for Excellence program, there will not be any conflict of interest. But let me check with my partners. But I think that because it's important to say that the supervisors here at the university, they will not have any role during the evaluation of the proposals. So this evaluation will be implemented by external evaluators to the university, that they are evaluators from H 2020, that evaluators, researchers that previously evaluated H 2020 projects. So since supervisors here at the university, there will not have any role during the evaluation process, I don't think there will be any conflict of interest. But yeah, I think I will confirm that. So I don't know if you have any other question. Thank you for the information provided. If I am a candidate that has a 4-year experience already, and also about to finish PhD by June 2002, can I apply? So since you already have 4 years of research experience, you will be eligible to participate in this call. So because, yeah, related to this specific requirement of the experienced researchers, there are 2 possibilities. The first one is to hold a PhD degree, and the second one is to certify at least 4 years of research experience. Since you are in that case, in that second case, you will be eligible to participate. Good morning. Regarding the mandatory secondment, does non-academic entities means that no research will be done in that institution, or that no teaching should be done, or neither? So yeah, so as you say, the mandatory secondment has to be implemented in a non-academic institution. That means a non-university institution, and that's to try to support, or try to try to encourage the participants to implement projects in a close to the market or close to the society. So a non-academic institution means a non-university institution. How important will be to have a good CV related to the research project or some advancement for being successful? So yeah, so in our web page, and let me to share our screen. 1 second. So I think you can see now. Yeah, 1 second. This is our web page. usalforexcellence.usal.es. So here you will find complete information about the whole project, including the evaluation, the application process. So regarding your question, yeah, I suggest you to go to this section, to the supporting documents, where you will find the guide for applicants for this call. And there you will find complete information about the evaluation criteria and what's the score that will be done for the evaluation of the CVs. So the criteria for the evaluations. I don't know if we have any other questions. So if we don't have more questions, I think I would like to just to introduce again our Vice Chancellor, José Miguel Mateos Rocco, just to finish this meeting. José Miguel.
Thank you, Luis. Finally, to conclude this section of launching event of the USL for Excellence, I wish to remark that fostering research excellence is a strategic issue for the University of Salamanca, that an institution that during more than a century has been committed to the research, development, preservation, and transfer of knowledge. Thus, the launching and developing of USL for Excellence, which will allow to incorporate 40 postdoctoral excellent researchers, and represents an opportunity to renew our engagement with our funding purposes, for which supporting and attracting talent is compulsory. The participation of more than 100 renewed researchers of different fields classified in 8 academic areas as supervisors of the program allows to show the importance of USL for Excellence and reveals that the University of Salamanca, as an open institution, compromise with internationalization, transference of knowledge, with companies and institutions at an attraction of talent. USL for Excellence is a first step in the compromise with future of our university that hope to follow up with other programs and initiatives. For this reason, I would like to reaffirm my thanks to the European Commission and the Castilla and León region government for the support, the companies and institutions that are partners of this program, and to all the community and participants, researchers, and administrative technical managers of the University of Salamanca involved in this program. Thank you very much to all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think, Luis, we are going to have this video conference at the disposal of everyone, no? I think so. The microphone, Luis, is closed.
Thanks. So yeah, I want to say just this session will be is being recorded, so and it will be available through our YouTube channel. So probably tomorrow or in 2 days, it will the session will be available, and also the answers to those questions that they are entering now in the chat, but I think we don't have more time, so but we will answer them. So yeah, thanks to all of you, and we hope to receive many applications, because that would mean that the project is a success. Thank you.